Good morning, teacher and friends. Today we are talking about the chapter 14.
Yes, chapter 14 is talking about the materials in Japan. It is about the traditions in Japan and how Japanese use two types of textbook to teach students. So, one of them is called NS in our content. NSP is native speakers of English who work in Japan learn these books, and another one is MP. MP means local publish. Local publish, the people in Japan wrote it and published in Japan. And usually NSP text based on average numbers of a class per week, and the average numbers of students per class. And an NS teacher uses an NSP textbook. It means the native speaker of English, they use the NSP textbook, and the Japanese teachers usually to use LP textbooks. And in our content, they talk about what's the difference about an SP textbook and the MP textbook. For example, an LP textbook is a focus on grammar translation activities, and the activities in NSP text is far higher than LP texts. And another important part is pair work activities. Pair work activities in LP textbook is more or less than an SP textbook. If teacher want to use pair work activities, they have to find more activities in an SP textbook is more better. And another point is spoken language is characterized by interlocutor interaction. The interaction may take many forms, including backing, channeling, and the practical aspect is missing from Richard and Sandy's examples. An aspect of a language presentation that number determines the learner's express, determine the students how to speak English outside classroom and in the classroom. And another one is materials for LP conversation practice, or typically co-authored by one or more NS and at least one Japanese. Conversation texts tend to have the same kinds of non-authoritative textual feature as NSP text. For example, there are grammatical usually presented in full sentence, and the lack of backing channeling, and other interlocutor feedback, and tend to show longer exchange in the conversation practice. And this dialogue for teacher and the students in textbook is a mini speeches more than actual conversation. They only do the very short speech, very simple sentence conversation in class, and there is no real actual conversation like we talk about, like native speakers. So the students only can communicate English in the class. It's hard to make them communicate English in outside classroom. And organizing topics by temperate is a teaching point found in many writing textbooks. Because of the weather in Japan is generally dense. So many writers write textbook to teach English will write about whether in Japan the temperaturely and talk about the part of a reading textbook. Learners' discussion are strictly controlled to providing translation of a given Japanese text and to choosing response from a short list of options. And the LP reading textbook is a lack of a sensitivity to context, the lack of a need for context, the lack of the needing for students. The lack of reading for students, needing for students as really need. And the next part, Ivy will tell us.
Yes. Okay, and next is from why you are saying as how the materials are typically used in Japan. Just does it say the books of Japan, it has SSP textbook
Yes.
and LP textbook. That is, SSP textbook is from native speaker. That's a published at international way or international place that sent it to the Japan. And for Japan, they only study English for 3 years until 6 years only. And studying continuing in university is just as a way that communicating with native speaker only is not going to deep in the like English major like here. This is not study is lexical or phonetics or grammatically used. Yes, only communicate with native speaker in Japan and certain especially this native speaker teacher must only activate student by speaking or listening only. And how to use the material in Japan. Teachers in Japan, more of them usually be overseas teacher.
Overseas teacher.
Yes, overseas teacher that have many experience from master degree at the west side, at the west country, or go abroad or traveling here. And this is the problem of English that it only use communicate. That is the short. That's it. My friend says that it's the short form or short grammar that student can only use or speak. It's not enough to practice student in Japan. And teacher here just use NSP textbook only use only text, only activity in the book, not not prepare student of the book. And this is the problem that this is a lack in student that teacher that go abroad or overseas is get something wrong in study or not real way in English and can teachers teach something that is not real. Okay. That's a part of. And this is a problem of industry textbook about it is called hamburger English. That is you look like hamburger that have a bread on and over under and over side. This is the English and the real inside is Japanese. That is not combination together. And this even at the university level, many students cannot produce a simple greeting. And the bias in found in the textbook chosen by NS teacher. That's what, as I was saying, as textbook or text in the NSP book is too short or is limited about 5 to 7 words. In the result, student cannot practice at all. And teacher with overseas experience are often familiar to use the interaction as a vehicle of language development and utilize pair work and other activities that promote interaction and cultural understanding. As it was say, as I was saying again, teacher yes use NSP book must have some real way or real cultural, but something is wrong to gain and come back to Japan and teach something is wrong to student and all. And Porsche. About evaluation of material that after the use NSP and LP textbook, we must evaluate students how to use it. This is only about communication in Japan. So teacher must only evaluate by communicating students together and focus on about cognitive skill. Does it mean student can do or can speak or can communicate with each other? This is all. And it's not only have pre-test and protest in the book that it cannot know the student understand in grammatically use or the lexical or phonetics or how to use English to writing and to reading and all. This is the LP textbook. On the other hand, we refer the Latin checklist test. That is, as I was saying, that students cannot use English at all because of they only study in the communicating with native speaker and each other and don't have taste. So students must have taste. This is it.
1, 2, 3, okay.
And the last part in our chapter is our suggestion for improvement. That is, for example, that is was the interview conclude.
Yes.
Students only can communicate with each other and native speaker cannot use lexical because textbook it focus on communicating only with native speaker, and this is the lack in cultural using because of the book it focus on the west side of the west country that is no have act character that is in the Japan and action in the Japan that is student in Japan understand because it's Asian and West is
Have a different culture.
yes. So in the last part we talk about suggestion to use material test. The first, it would be helpful if a textbook shows student what to do or give student advice when learner have difficulty in understanding a particular activity. That is, in the books it have activity that teacher only say or teach student how to do, and if student want to study individual or by himself or by themselves, it is impossible because they do not understand in direction. Okay.
They don't understand it.
Yes. The next is most of the textbook contain unambiguous follow-up activity to main reading and listening passage and target dialogue. These often come in the form of true false questions, fill in the missing word, listening task, vocabulary matching tasks, and collect the sentence word order activity. That is in the method of teaching of English, that is in the phase of control study. Yes, because of student cannot to create some sentence that can use in communicating in LP textbook, because LP textbook is like teacher draw a line and student must follow the line only and cannot be creative to be a new sentence or in the early LP textbook because it's a local public textbook.
Yes.
And the last one is the final item on our wish list is for pre and post test for NSP textbook. Many teachers will test with a standardized test such as the TOEIC and STEP, and the end they course with a similar test. In the textbook we don't have a pre-test support test. That is if the student want to test TOEIC and STEP, it's not a very difficult, and it is the he want to be a standardized and the
Yes.
median of the score. If student have some rise and increase of คะแนน in a little score in a little bit there is very failed in the test and this is my chapter how to use the material in Japan. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you.